You too. How are you? And I love the polite post in the back. Loving that.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd notice it. I hope you like the t-shirt
And the
too.
t-shirt. Oh my God. Amazing.
I'm such a fan. You know this. You have so many of us fans out there, and we appreciate you so much. I hope you know that.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Swara. Really, that means a lot to me.
You got it. I can imagine that you were overjoyed about getting a series two, and I'm curious about how that affected your scope of where these characters could go after series one, if at all.
Mm. I mean, I was so excited, like you said, to get a season two because I felt like it only had so much real estate to do so much storytelling. So I had to really focus on Amina and maybe a little bit of Syra. Whereas in season two, getting to just build on what we'd established was so exciting. Getting to go deeper into the other characters, getting to push, our kind of musical stylings and just get to just elevate and push everything, which was the most exciting for season two. And just, I felt like I learned so much about just trusting myself making season one and also making Polite Society. So I felt I was more able to collaborate, more able to like reach out for support when I needed support. And like that just enabled me to go deeper into the individual characters and into sort of themes that were sort of more nuanced, I guess.
More nuanced and in some ways more bold. I love how much this season explores the very role of the artist and questions what our place should be. Watching this season, I got the impression this might be the most personal story you've written for the screen so far. Am I on the mark? How did you incorporate your own experiences as an artist into this season?
Oh, thank you. And yeah, I loved your review. I think you really did nail it. It's so much from that. Yeah, I was just honestly, it brought a tear to my eye. It was so beautiful to get to read something that really understands and gets it. This is always the case.
That
So,
means the world to me, Nida. Like you
oh,
appreciating something I wrote, like that's
no, it's
thank you. Thank
beautiful.
you so much.
It was really lovely. And it was honestly so good that it made me reflect on things that maybe I hadn't considered. But you're right, it's the role of the artist, and it was, as you said, it's a personal in many ways, but I also had this incredible writers' room of very diverse Muslim women. And it was something that was really coming up for everyone of like, how do you navigate the mainstream industry as an artist, from a marginalized community, but also trying to reach a wide audience and believe that your work can speak to a wide audience. So it was something that really came up for all of us in that room. But it's certainly something that I grappled with, especially earlier on in my career. Like there's one moment where I remember I was really struggling to get any writing credits, and like this one job that was offered to me was one where I had to co-write with a sort of white male director, and it was a story about Muslim women. And I was essentially being brought on to rubber stamp it. And I thought I didn't believe in the project, but I really needed a job. And I was really struggling. And I was like, I was considering it. And I was like, I'm really going to have to sacrifice my integrity, but is this what it takes to get into the industry? So it was really pulling from really truthful experiences I had had. But I, again, feel so lucky because making season two and I trusted my team, my execs, my studio, my creatives, my actors, that I was able in my show to kind of express that. And I didn't have that confidence until now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the confidence that is in this season. It's so evident. I also love, as you mentioned earlier, we have more of the characters, particularly Bisma and Momtaz. And I really loved in particular the story for Bisma, which was really exploring her blackness and that intersection with her Muslim identity. So what was the experience of writing her story this season like and working with presumably Black Muslim writers?
Yeah, I co-wrote episode 4 with the brilliant Rashida Sariki. And it was exciting, for me. I'd never co-written, and it was just brilliant to get to work with another writer. And, in, as you said, in my writer's room, to hear from the Black women, just because, as you said, like Bisma does occupy a unique position in the band as the only Black woman. So it just felt like really exciting to get to go there for her. And I think also from season one, as I was thinking about season two, Bisma was one of she's like the most put together, wholesome character. We see And she seems to be the one who has it all together. So for season two, in my writer's room, I was like, we just need to upend this. How can we challenge her in the most interesting way? And, you know, and get to explore all the different intersections of what she's experiencing, not only as a Black woman, but as the only mother in the band, and how that sort of influences her experience of being online and how people are reacting to her. So it just felt so exciting. And then, you know, I was away from season one for 3 years, but I was always in touch with the cast, and I got to see Faith, who plays Bisma, on stage in a musical, and I just saw that she had the most incredible voice. And I realized, like, I need to give her a big musical moment. So, you know, and I was thinking of Nina Simone. I was like, this has to happen. And she absolutely nailed it, and I knew she would. And that's something that I've really appreciated, having written for the actors, worked with the actors, and then seen what they can do. It's like you can really, you know, I was so confident with the storytelling because I knew she could go to those dark places and she could deliver on the kind of musical moments as well.
Faith is absolutely brilliant, and that solo like completely blew me away. I have a last question. It's a bit of a heavy one, if you'll permit me. What I love so much about your work, you tell your boldly unique experiences, and obviously you can't represent all Muslims, certainly not all SWANASA or African peoples in your work, but I have to tell you, Nida, just how much your work speaks to so many across our various communities in its uniqueness and its boldness. And I will say, in particular, I have Palestinian friends who deeply connect with your work and love it. And as we all know far too well, these are such horrific times that are unfolding. And I just want to ask you, what does that mean to you that we all appreciate it as much as we do?
I mean, it means the world to me that, you know, it has resonance. You know, I feel so lucky I get to write a comedy, and I get to celebrate Muslim joy. And you know, at the same time, the band, we see them grappling with atrocities that are happening across the world. And you know, I wrote this like a year ago, and just because Muslim suffering isn't anything new, but to feel its like greater resonance now is really heartbreaking. And yeah, I feel so lucky to get to make the show, and that there are people who are connecting with it. And I just, yeah, it's a really difficult, it's a difficult time to make art, especially when you're making a comedy. Nothing feels enough, you know. But I feel, yeah, so lucky that the show is going to be out there and just be that sort of bit of Muslim joy, which you know, which I think is also good to see.
Absolutely. It's always necessary. And your work, it's invaluable. You're a storytelling genius. I will say it again and again and again.
Oh,
We just, we love you, Nida. Just like
oh,
that's all I can
thanks
say.
so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all your support and the kind words. And I love reading the stuff you guys do at Nerds of Color. It's so cool. I love it. So honestly, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nida. And congratulations again on series two. I want at least five more series of the show, however much you need, however much you feel you need. But thank you so much for sitting with Nerds of Color today, and congratulations again to you and the whole casting crew.
Thanks, Aura. Thank you so much.
Take care.
The activists, directors, comments and the lectures, fanboys, professional artists and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock life, comics, movies, and TV. Yeah, pop culture with a different perspective. Watch it on your screen, hit play, so check this.